Have you ever felt like God has forgotten you? Psalm 13 is only 6 short verses, but gives us some really good ideas, insights on how to pray, especially if you feel like God has forgotten you. I want to share some of those insights with you. In the first 2 verses, King David asked God 4 times, "How long?" 4 times he asked it. That's evidence of his intense desire for deliverance from his anguish. He didn't just ask God, "How long?" but he expanded the question, "How long? Forever?" In the book of Isaiah, we have a wonderful truth for God's children. God said he would never forget those who are his, and that they are engraved on the palms of his hands. God will never forget you. David asked, "How long will you hide your face from me?" Have you ever felt like God was hiding from you? God's face may seem hidden from you because you can't see through the cloud of affliction or despair. You can't sense his presence, but that does not mean that you're hidden from him. He sees you. He is still there. David was so anxious about his prayers not being answered that he asked God how long he should counsel himself and try to figure out the solution to his affliction. You know, don't you, that you're in trouble if you depend on your own advice rather than waiting to hear what God has to say. Trying to solve your own problems with your own abilities without God's help is a big mistake. The sorrow you experience tests your faith and patience. Waiting for God to answer sometimes is difficult, isn't it? The intenseness of your affliction tries or tests your fortitude. How strong are you? You don't know until you've been tested. David was in such a state that he felt like the trial would kill him. Then in his prayer we learned something. When he stopped trying to figure everything out with his own intellect and changed his prayer, his complaining stopped. Rather than complaining about God taking too long, he said, "But I have trusted in your mercy. My heart will rejoice in your salvation, and I will sing praise to the Lord, for he has dealt bountifully with me." David had done what many of us have done. He initially did not sing in the days of his troubles. Rather than praise his way through the affliction, he complained. That is, until he came to his senses. He knew God would be true to his nature. He knew the answer would come in God's timing. What he did instructs us on how to handle crises in our lives. Do those 3 things that David did. He trusted in God's mercy, he rejoiced in God's salvation, and he sang praises to God because of his bountiful blessings to him. Rather than worry, rather than try to figure everything out with your own intellect, make your petition known to God, and then trust in his mercy, rejoice in his salvation, and sing praises because of his bountiful blessings to you. Be blessed and keep close to Jesus.